let's unpack fear a little bit. When we think about fear, fear is an emotion, and what's amazing is, let's just say a person has potential to create a certain level of success in whatever, in their business, in their career, in their with their health, and today we're talking about the fear of that. Now, why would anyone fear accomplishing some of the greatest things they would ever want to accomplish? It seems like that doesn't make sense that someone would have a fear of that. If anything, they would be running towards it. But say a little bit about, because I know, we talk about these things all the time, but what's your perspective on why human beings get afraid of their own potential, get afraid of maybe truly being all in on saying, I'm going to succeed at this thing? Because as soon as they do that, I think there's something they start to feel that causes them to say, I would rather just maybe be mediocre. I'd rather just not give my all. But what do you think's going on there? What's your take on some of that?
Man, how do we unpack this? How long is this podcast? I mean, fear is really interesting. Maybe we can have a ground rule, and we can first agree that everybody's dealing with fear.
That's right.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Right. And fear isn't always that your knees are knocking and you're just like afraid, want to go and hide. Fear is you don't want to deal with or accept a certain result that comes with making a decision. And a lot of people don't understand fear. Now, fear can be very, very paralyzing.
Right.
But fear can also just be a restriction that we put on ourselves, and we don't maximize our potential. And so when I think about what you're saying, where fear is concerned, there's two sides to it, maybe. And I'd like to get your thoughts on this, because we talk about the fear of failure a lot. But I think people are also just as afraid to succeed.
Right.
Because when you succeed once, that's the new expectation. That's the new standard that you have to live up to.
Right.
Not just for other people, but for yourself.
Right.
And a lot of people like to live their life with their expectations low. Right. And that is just the epitome of mediocrity. And so I think there's two sides to fear of failure and fear of success. So why do I think that? I think people need to understand that because fear is universal and we all have it, how was fear shaped in your life? And when you experience that emotion, what is your natural action or reaction when fear shows up? Or how does fear show up in your life? If you can't answer that question, you're going to be forever trapped by that emotion.
Right. That is really powerful. And I like that you're bringing out the two sides of that, of fear of failure and fear of success. And what's interesting is the fear of success really the fear of failure still? And what's the depth of that is that if I start to be successful, what if I then don't be successful? If I do start to get good grades, what about the day I don't get a good grade? If I really show this talent I have, what about the day that it doesn't work perfectly, as meet up to the expectation that everyone has? Is it really a subtle still connection to fear of failure? Because the fear of success is that if I'm successful, I have to maintain that success, because otherwise I'll be seen as a failure, right? So is there a connection there? There, it seems like there's something interwoven here.
Yeah, rabbit hole.
Yes,
that fear is
absolutely.
a rabbit hole,
right?
Right, and so that's the thing about it is fear. It's always having the expectation of the worst case scenario, and you just can't live your life like that. You know what I mean? And I like Coach Calipari said, you don't win or you lose, you win or you learn, right? And you often say fear is just the womb of success. And so failure is just a part of the natural matriculation through life.
Right.
And we have to learn how to accept that a lot better. I think there's a healthy fear that we all should have, because it'll hone our approach, hone all of our senses and our focus to the task that's in front of us.
Right.
But we shouldn't fear like this collapse or this colossal event that we're thinking in extremes and we're being bound by all of these, extreme outcomes, we have to be able to manage that fear, because fear doesn't necessarily go away, and have the courage, as you say, to step into it.
Right.
And if we keep walking into that fear, at some point we crossed over to the other side,
right,
into success.
Very powerful. And when you say that, it made me think for a minute, just going back to using a physical example. And when we think about, if we redefined failure as growth, and the reason I say that is, if growth is actually recovery from failure, and what I mean is, let's even take weightlifting. When you lift weights and you tear muscle fibers and you go to a point of muscle failure, when it comes to strength training, you go to muscle failure, and it is how you recover from that muscle failure that will determine how well your muscles grow, right? So that's why people got to recover. They got to drink some protein or eat more protein, and your body's recovering. You got to get enough sleep. And in that recovery is where all the growth happens. But first you had to have muscle failure. One of the things is, when I think about us in life, similarly, when you think about when we feel we have failed at something, it's the way we recover from that, to me, that determines, is there growth going to come from it or just injury?
Right.
So if we have a presentation, I had to get up and public speak, and I've had to get up and public speak, and for some reason, there was 4 parts of the presentation I needed to give. On the 3rd part of the presentation, I stumbled. I mixed my words up. I forgot to give an example I was supposed to give. I wasn't as clear in my speech, and I dropped the ball on that 3rd part. So you could say it was a failure, but I could get more specific and say the 3rd part of the presentation, I had something that could be seen as a failure. The recovery steps in when I say, I'm going to work on that part that I struggled in. And when I do this again, this is going to be my best area, because I'm going to work on that example I was supposed to give. I'm going to work on my slides to remind me better of what I'm supposed to be saying. And I'm going to speak about this with confidence. Now, the mindset I have about that area of the presentation that went wrong is going to determine, do I grow? Is failure, and what I thought was failure, is it something that created growth, or did it teach me to fear success, right? Because success is in me giving this presentation, but now I'm afraid to even try. I'm afraid to give the whole presentation,
right,
because of this one area. So don't you think that this is another way of looking at this, that how I recover from failure determines if we have growth or if we end up in a situation of stagnation?
Absolutely. And that's the whole mind trap of fear, right? And so when I'm in that moment of recovery, sometimes I won't allow myself to recover. I won't take the necessary steps to, get out of recovery.
Right.
I won't, you were talking about like the whole presentation example. So what you were talking about is, am I going to wallow in the mire of fear and feed self-pity, right? And don't do anything to improve.
Right.
I'm just going to sit there and pout and whine about how I messed up and don't do anything to change my circumstance.
Right.
Or am I going to reduce the amount of fear that I have for the next time by putting in the practice, doing the work, getting all the reps that take place. And so now my mind is focused on building my confidence versus strengthening my fear. And that's the shift in mindset. The fear doesn't go away, but it drastically has less impact on my mind because I'm putting in the work to overcome it. So you're either going to overcome fear or be overcome by fear. Fear is always present, but courage has to be present too. And the way you do that is by doing the work.
Just do me a favor, because we're really trying to grow the channel here. Please like and share and subscribe if you like the content that we're doing here at URCO. I really would appreciate that. I love that. And people don't understand, Terry, that courage is the ability to go forward while afraid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
That's right.
people think courage means the person has no fear. It was really that it's that you can do it through the fear.
That's right.
That's what makes it courage. And I was thinking about, you know, I had a rough year during the pandemic where it was just a lot going on. I had these issues where I had esophagitis. I couldn't swallow all the way. They thought I had a heart attack, which it was just a misreading on the EKG, but it was just a lot going on. My blood pressure had rose. I had never had any of these types of problems before. It was just a very stressful year, pandemic, all the businesses, things I was doing in the community. And I remember when I started having these issues where I was trying to lower my blood pressure. And because that experience was so traumatic, like it created a fear, just like that, my life changed. And I was in the hospital, you know, assessing whether or not I had a heart attack, right? And I'm like, I'm the athlete, working all the time, do all this stuff, like feel completely healthy. And it just, my world changed. And so I went through this whole bout, and I started, you know, I got me a blood pressure monitoring machine. I'm starting to all the time watch my blood pressure. And blood pressure is an interesting thing as we have this discussion about fear and the mind, because I learned that my stress levels and my thinking would impact my blood pressure. So literally, if I had too much going on, worried about too much, my blood pressure would be super high. If I could relax, calm down, you know, stop moving, I could get my blood pressure low. If I go to so to this day, I have to watch it. I have that white coat syndrome when I can't just go into the hospital when you go for a checkup and just sit down and take my blood pressure just straight off, just the street, walk, sit down. It's going to be high because just being in that environment, I remember the fight I was in, they wanted me to get on medication just to be careful, but I use exercise and fitness and all that. And I said, I don't want that. I want to bring it down naturally. And so I fought and I did that. But even today, sometimes when I measure my blood pressure, I have to ignore the first reading because my body, there's a stress in my body of the fear of what happened before that I don't mentally, it's subconscious that my body reacts. And that first reading is like, it's not real. And so I do it again and again. Then after I do it, I see the consistent pattern. So, okay, that's where my blood pressure is really at. But I say that to say, and I share that to say that when we are traumatized by something, we're traumatized by being embarrassed about something or hurt about something or felt like we weren't good enough. We didn't do well enough. We didn't speak well, look well, wasn't as smart as someone else. We didn't achieve in whatever. Something that even goes back to childhood, grade school, anything, relationship issues. These traumatic things can get in our way of trying to really be successful because we don't realize that subconsciously we're so afraid we're going to fail again. Like, I'm so afraid my blood pressure is going to be higher than it should be that it makes it high.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's amazing is that because we dwell on so much of what we don't want to happen, it's what ends up happening because it's what we're thinking about.
Right.
So we have to change how we think.
We really do. You know, fear is interesting because, again, we already established fear is universal.
Right.
It's present in all of us. The brain is wired to trigger an alarm to say, hey, be careful, right? And however that trigger has been developed, we got to be mindful. But I bring that up to say, because fear is already present, just let fear be present. Don't create this whole... I mean, sometimes we create fear when there's no reason to have fear.
Right.
We just invent it.
Right.
We create it because of previous experiences or previous trauma. So to your point, some people had that high blood pressure or had that scare in the hospital. So I ain't taking my blood pressure.
Exactly. I don't even want to see it.
I don't even want to see it.
Yeah.
It's easier to just manage my emotions and die than find out what's really going on.
Right.
And deal with that, right? And so that's what happens is people try to suppress fear by being afraid. And it just doesn't make sense, right? And that's how irrational fear can make us think.
Right.
And so there is a healthy fear. It's already present. Our brain has a system that alarms us. Now, it could be a false alarm, but if you listen to the alarm and learn how to manage what's going on in your life, what's going on in your body, now you know what to do to work through it. And I think that's the biggest key is learn as much information about yourself and your life circumstance so you can learn how to manage the life that you're living.
Yeah.
That's what's key.
Wow. I really, really like that. But one thing that I think I just want to say is that, and I really want to leave this with everyone to really get this, is that the way to be freed from the fear of success is to redefine success. And what I mean by that is not just the definition we've talked about today, being able to achieve things important to you while maintaining, your happiness, but also to really see success as the lifestyle of pursuing your best effort, not the destination. So the goal is never the degree. The goal is to give my best in my learning. The degree just comes in that journey. The goal isn't the $1 million business. The success isn't the $1 million business. The success is building a stable company that is growing every day. And if I get to the $1 million, it's just one of the milestones. Because after that, what? I want to get to 2 million. Why not? Keep doing that thing, being successful. So when you see success as the journey that includes fear in that path, you can never be unsuccessful if you really tap into that, because the journey is the success. So if I'm every day making an effort with my health and I see that as success with the fear and some failures along the way, right? Because I see them as a part of the growth process, I just recover from them properly. Then I don't have to be afraid of success because I'm living it. And that's the thing, when we make success this thing that's way over there and at the top of the mountain, and if I can climb, if I could just get there, then it's like, I don't know if I can get way up there, or if I get up there, I might fall off that mountain. But if you say, oh, success is like, I'm doing that every day, right? Then it's like, are you afraid to breathe? No, I do that every day. Are you afraid to walk around? No, I do that every day. Are you afraid of success? No, I do that every day. That's what we have to get to.
You are a CEO. You are a CEO.